I've been thinking a lot about our modern view of leadership, and I just have this feeling that we've lost something really fundamental. It's not that we're failing exactly, but maybe we're playing a completely different game than our ancestors did.
So I really want to explore this question with you. Have we forgotten something basic about what power and leadership even are? It feels like we're always looking for leaders, right? We're hoping one or two visionaries will just pop up and tell us what to do. But what if that whole idea is just wrong?
Okay, so let's dive right into the heart of it. The core idea we're going to break down here is that we've totally forgotten a crucial truth. Real leadership isn't a title you get or a position you hold. It's actually a natural, almost inevitable result of deep connection. Connection to ourselves, to each other, and to the world around us.
And to really get this, we need to look at two profoundly different ways of seeing the world. Our modern world, well, it pretty much runs on a model of scarcity. But many older, connected cultures, they ran on a model of abundance, especially when it came to leadership.
Wow, when you see it laid out like this, it's so clear, isn't it? Our modern Western model is all about scarcity. Leadership is this rare thing, so we raise a bunch of followers and we put the expert who holds on to all their knowledge on a pedestal. But in connected cultures, it's the total opposite. It's about abundance. They believe leadership is inside everyone. So the goal isn't to be the expert, it's to mentor your replacement and lift up the entire community.
And this quote from the San Bushmen, man, it just nails it. They don't really have chiefs in the way we think about them. And why is that? Because when you raise every single person to be self-responsible and to have their own authority, well then everyone's a leader. The whole idea of a single chief just becomes unnecessary. The thought of one person signing away the rights of the whole tribe, that concept doesn't even exist for them.
Okay, so this brings us to this really powerful analogy that explains these two kinds of power structures, the spider versus the starfish.
So think about the conquistadors when they ran into the Aztec Empire. They studied how it was run and they realized, hey, everything flows through one central guy, Montezuma. He was the head of the spider, and they figured, correctly, that if they just took him out and replaced him, the entire empire would fall under their control. And you know what? They were right. It's a system that's powerful, sure, but it's also incredibly vulnerable.
But then, those same conquistadors went north, and they met the Apache. And they tried the exact same strategy, but it completely, utterly failed. Why? There was no central leader to take out. If they split a group of 20 Apache warriors into two groups of 10, they suddenly found themselves fighting two fully effective armies. The leadership, the power, it was distributed through the entire group, just like a starfish. It's a system that's decentralized, incredibly resilient, and super adaptable.
So right here, this is the fundamental difference. The spider is this fragile, top-down hierarchy. The starfish, on the other hand, is a resilient, peer-to-peer network. One system is basically designed to create followers, the other is designed to create leaders in mass.
So the big question is, how do you actually build a starfish culture? It's not magic. It actually relies on three powerful social technologies that, our modern world is mostly forgotten about. Let's think of them as dormant technologies, just waiting for us to wake them up.
Okay, so the first one is what the source material calls alloparenting, which is really just the auntie and uncle network. The whole idea here is that the nuclear family, just mom and dad and the kids, is kind of a historical fluke. In healthier cultures, other trusted adults step in to be pure mentors. This gets rid of that conflict a parent has, right? Trying to be a disciplinarian one minute and a loving guide the next. It creates this safe space for a kid's unique gifts to actually come out.
And get this isn't just some nice idea. It might actually be wired right into our neurobiology. Research suggests that for us to develop in a healthy way, we need somewhere between 25 and 35 unconditional listeners in our lives. People we can talk to without any fear of judgment. Now, think about the average modern life. Most of us aren't even close to that number.
The process itself is simple, but it is so profound. It all starts with that foundation of unconditional listening from these mentors. And the goal isn't to shape the kid into something they're not, but just to help them become more of who they already are. And the result? You get a person who grows into their confidence, who feels safe enough to be themselves, and who naturally steps into their own leadership.
Now, this second technology is wow. It's a radical shift away from punishment and towards correction. In some of these cultures, when a person messes up, the community doesn't shun them or punish them. Instead, they gather around and they sing that person's birth song to lovingly remind them of who they truly are, of their inherent goodness. The healing comes from the inside, from a place of love, not from fear. And finally, the third technology is this deep
cultural promise to find the gift in every single person. It's just understood that everyone has a unique genius, but it's often really hard for us to see it in ourselves. So it becomes everyone's job to watch for and nurture the gifts in others. Because the core belief is that your gift, it isn't really for you. It's for the collective. It's for the village.
So how does all this tie back to us, right here, right now? Well, it turns out this isn't just some philosophy. It's about how we are fundamentally wired as human beings.
This is so important. These principles of connection, of distributed leadership, of empathy, they are not just feel-good ideas. They are quite literally built into our neurobiological hardware. We are actually designed for this stuff.
And the mechanism for this is just fascinating. It's our mirror neurons. These are the brain cells that let us feel what other people are feeling. So when we're around someone who is genuinely vital and connected and empathetic, those qualities literally light up in our own nervous systems. We actually catch leadership. It's not taught in a classroom. It is contagious.
And all of this leads to an invitation. An invitation for us to stop waiting around for directions and to start cultivating our own leadership. It's about reawakening what some indigenous traditions call the hollow bone. This idea of becoming a clear, empty channel for our unique gifts to flow right through us for the benefit of everyone.
And that brings us to the final, and I think most provocative question. What would change in our neighborhoods, in our workplaces, in our world? What would change if we stopped outsourcing our power and waiting for a savior? What if we just started with the simple but radical act of seeing and calling out the unique gift in every single person around us?
Because this dormant power, it's not something we have to go out and find. It's been waiting in our bones this whole time. Rebuilding our culture, reclaiming our collective power, it all starts right here. Thanks for being here with me.